Good evening. Assalamu alaikum to my colleagues and friends. Today is Saturday, 2nd of January, brand new year 2020. And to everyone, Happy New Year, right? Today program is a bit a special program. It's about Halal CBD product. And I have two of my colleagues in front of me. Obviously, they will introduce themselves and they'll talk about what's the concept behind and so and so. Before I do that, I need to make a disclaimer. Whatever we say in here, right, please take it as a information only purpose. And anything we say at the heat of the moment, please forgive us. So, we can all make mistakes. So that's my disclaimer. So I would like to introduce, first of all, if Abid, if you could explain about yourself, your background, and then I'll go to Bilal. Please introduce yourself.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome everybody to the show. Thanks for joining us this evening. Happy New Year to all and best wishes for 2021. My name is Abid. I'm a consultant podiatrist. I work in the NHS and in the private sector also. I've been in musculoskeletal orthopedic services for nearly 20 years between the two. So seen a lot of stuff in that time. My colleague here, you can see below, Bilal Malik, is a pharmacist, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about himself.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody, and I wish you all the best and hope families are safe. I know it's been difficult this year, and hopefully last year, but hopefully this year will be a lot better. As Abid mentioned, I am a pharmacist. I've been qualified for roughly 10 years or so, and I've been working in a community pharmacy as a manager for probably 7 to 8 years. And then I went back to university to study as an independent prescriber, and I've been working in some clinics with GPs and also in the private sector, helping other clinicians with advice with medications and queries, and now currently still working as a community pharmacist and other things as well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Right.
If anybody want to make a comment, please do so, and we'll try to answer the question as best as we possibly can. So is there any disclaimer, Abid, before we go into full force?
Yeah, I suppose there is a disclaimer this evening because we're talking about CBD, and it's a little bit maybe controversial issue. It's not illegal. It is a legal substance. So there's a lot of misconceptions around that. And over the course of several programs that we've planned for with Somers, we're going to go through a lot of the detail there. This evening, we're going to keep it very specifically about the black seed and the halal concept and CBD. And we will just discuss that specifically this evening. But you're very welcome to throw questions in, and we'll try to answer them as we go. What we want to do really is not just discuss the what tonight. It's more about the why and the how of how we got there between Bilal and myself. I've been involved with CBD probably, if I start there, for at least 7 to 10 years, and Bilal probably for a good 5 years. We set up this company specifically 3.5 years ago now, Bilal, something, when we actually set up the company, but we were operating before that.
Yeah, touching 4 probably soon, I think.
Yeah, nearly 4. So we've been in it a while. Plus, we've got a lot of experience in the background. So it sounds like it's very new, and there's a lot of new companies out there. But we've been involved with it for a long time. Members of several organisations involved in it, and involved in some of the conversations and the lobbying and all sorts of things at the front end of how CBD has got to be where it is in the country this time. So we wanted to particularly the point of our company. Became apparent because we wanted to source for ourselves and for our patients and friends high quality CBD, and that's ultimately where this all started. And the frustration, bear in mind, this is several years ago now when we started, so at that time there wasn't a lot of good quality stuff around. There was stuff from the States, there was a bit of stuff around in Europe. It was hard to get hold of it. If you were to get hold of it in the UK, you had to go via a website perhaps, and the quality was dubious of the small companies out there, and it was just complicated. And myself being in musculoskeletal services and having to deal with people with foot and ankle problems, knee problems, hip problems, back problems, shoulder problems, all these types of injuries and illnesses and diseases and chronic pain and all this sort of stuff. And it was through my own research in my sort of medical studies and looking around the world. At one point, I was frustrated with the limitations of NHS and what they could provide to help with certain conditions. So looking around for various options internationally over some years, and you've been on those journeys with me too, Somers. We're always looking for new things to help our patients. That's what we do.
Opportunity throughout the world.
Of course. So through those journeys, I came across CBD, and there's an interesting story behind why I came to it. At the time, obviously, there's a lot of connotations with cannabis, and of course, you don't want to be associated with cannabis if you can help it as a medical professional. But ultimately, there was a guy came to me one day asking me for some help and advice in this. This is 8 years ago, no, more than 10 years ago now, and of course, CBD was hardly known at that time. So this guy got hold of me. Eventually, we agreed to a meeting, and he showed me the CBD stuff, and I really was not having it. I wasn't not interested in it, but his story compelled me and got me interested in the whole dynamic, and it took me on my research from there. And his story was he was an ex-paratrooper, paratrooper military guy. Yeah, and these guys jump out of aeroplanes with parachutes, right? So his story was he jumped out of an aeroplane one day, and his chute failed. So he's hit the ground and smashed pretty much every bone in his body and had severe injuries. He required a lot of surgery over years, and he had to deal with chronic pain, a lot of chronic pain. And, the general medications, but, all the general medications that are out there for pain relief sort of guy, yeah? You can imagine the type of stuff he was on. And so he decided that he didn't, this stuff wasn't, the general pharmacy stuff wasn't helping him so much. So he started smoking cannabis, whatever, and found that it was having some effect. It was helping him, it was relieving his symptoms, so he thought. And he was a clever guy, he was an intelligent guy, so he looked into it and researched it further. And he found that it perhaps wasn't the THC element, the stuff that we know that gets you high, it was the CBD element of what he was smoking that was giving him the benefit and the relief in his symptoms. So he went on and went around the world in his own crusade, and over years found and tried to endorse and support CBD and tried to help to grow it in this country. It was that time when he met me, and at the time, as I say, it was very, very little was known about it. But it got me interested, and through my own patience and experiences with family and friends and whatnot, I experimented with it over years and tried several different types and sources, tried to get it from there. And the problem was I just couldn't, I was convinced by the effects, and I have to be very, very careful. Of course, there's a disclaimer around CBD. You cannot purport the medical benefits of CBD, so we have to be very, very careful what we say. But at the time, it was helpful to a lot of people I was seeing, and I was convinced of the benefits myself, so much so that I wanted to be able to recommend them a specific product. Right, go and get this. This is the stuff. There's a lot of rubbish out there. You can get good stuff, not good stuff. You don't know what you're getting on the internet. There's not really a store you can go to buy some stuff. And that's when, as Somers can show you there, we found Sibdol. And of all the companies that were out there, Sibdol for us at the time, after a lot of research, which Bilal and I sat through, we sifted through company after company after company, and product after product after product. And finally, we found, as you can see there, Sibdol. And it came down to two companies, actually, Bilal, didn't it? There was Sibdol and another one, Endoca, I think it was called, wasn't it? Because we researched heavily about which one we would recommend. Okay. Long story short, sorry, all right, I'll just finish off a little bit there. We ended up teaming up with Sibdol, and it's gone on from there. I'll let you kick in, Somers.
Okay. Now, before, as you know, there are a lot of people watching. Who can speak a good Hindi or Urdu in here? Right, Bilal or you?
I can speak Urdu, yeah.
Okay, so because we got mostly. So if you want to explain to me in English what CBD in scientific, what is CBD stand for, and then you why CBD is what it is currently, and what's the difference between CBD and THC, and then if you could also speak in Urdu and explain, shortly, so the audience understands. Thank you, Bilal.
So,
what is CBD?
So CBD is actually a shortened for the actual name of the compound. It's called cannabidiol. Yeah, cannabidiol is a compound which is found in the cannabis plant, and it's not the only compound in the cannabis plant. Now, in the cannabis plant, there's probably over 100 of these compounds, and they have different names, and they've been discovered differently. So there's CBN, CBG, and THC is one of those. Now, through lots of research, and there's an Israeli scientist that did, firstly, many years ago, that did this research. His name is Raphael Meshulam. And what he did was that he isolated these compounds and started to see in isolation how these compounds would have effects on the body. And as is commonly known, when people smoke cannabis, they get a high, or they get a feeling of, delusional state sometimes, and that's all comes from the THC component. Because what this does is, in the body, there are thousands of receptors for these compounds, which naturally which selects to the body. Now, the THC has a high affinity of those in the brain. So this is where you can see those effects come, and it affects a lot of the psycho elements that happen with the THC. Where CBD doesn't have that, so it has a lot of the benefits which THC can provide, but it doesn't have any of the things, because it has a higher affinity for those that are in the peripheral system, which means exterior from the mind, and that allows it to harness those benefits without causing the problems associated with the mind. So that is it. So CBD has a more of a broader benefit in terms of I've seen firsthand in pharmacy when people have taken it, and I've seen crazy stuff that it's helped.
For the pharmaceutical purpose, what's the difference between the CBD oil we are trying to promote or sell, and between the prescription CBD oil?
So the prescription CBD oil, there's actually no prescription CBD oil at the moment. Okay. What it is that they give something called it's THC oil, the CBD oil. What they want, it's basically the cannabis product that they're doing at a pharmaceutical level. One of them that exists at the moment is Sativex, which is licensed for it's licensed for epilepsy, and it's very rarely prescribed. However, the other ones that they did make a big issue of, which came in the thing that, we're going to prescribe THC and there's going to be clinics and all the rest of it. It was basically that, you'd have to get referred to a specialist, and then the specialist would have to, review the case, and then you'll have to get into pharmacy. But to be honest, I've been working in pharmacy so long, and I've never seen a prescription for it, and it's highly unlikely that you're going to get one. It's because it takes months and months and months and months, and especially with the COVID situation right now, I don't think that's a priority at the moment. But then what we found was that basically the CBD in the marketplace wasn't very good standard. People were getting ripped off. We found that people were selling bottles saying 10%, and there was only 1% in them. All of these things, crazy stuff. And then obviously we had to source the correct product, with the right standards that met with not only the European body but the UK body, and agreed with all the laws.
Huge regulation. As I understand, this current CBD oil, the one currently in the health shop, they haven't got THC element in there. That's what you're trying to say.
THC. There's no product in the market that only contains 0% CBD, THC in a product. So what happens is that what they say is that we'll have a threshold. I think it's about 0.01% or 0.1% at the moment, and you provide a certificate analysis for this, and this allows the customer to make sure that there's very little in it. Even if you drank the bottle, it would have no effect on the mind. And it's because it's not born from the plant. So everything comes out, and then obviously some elements stay.
Thank you. One more question I want to ask you. Can you just explain in Urdu what CBD is and what the whole concept of the CBD is about scientifically, just in Urdu, couple of sentences.
अभी तो बात करेंगे उर्दू में इसके बारे में कि CBD क्या है, क्या चीज़ है और वो कैसे बॉडी पर इफेक्ट करता है। CBD जो है एक शॉर्ट नाम है जो साइंटिफिक नाम उसका है वो कैनाबिडाइल है। वो एक कैनबिस प्लांट से वो निकाला जाता है और उसमें से ये जो होता है ये जो प्रोडक्ट जो होती है जो कंपाउंड जो निकलता है प्लांट से वो बॉडी में रिसेप्टर के साथ अटैच होता है और वो जो है ना बॉडी में अच्छे जिस तरह के डिजीजेस को और इलनेसेस को हेल्प करता है वो आपके लिए लेकिन
Yeah. Now, Abid, explain me the process of being into halal, if you could.
So that was. I mean, obviously, CBD in itself is halal anyway. There's nothing haram about it, unless it's got a lot of THC in it. So that wasn't the concept about the halal part. The halal part for us was trying to introduce it into our own communities, because we found there's resistance generally because of the whole issues around cannabis and whatever. But also, because we found the benefit of it, we knew we were convinced ourselves, and we were struggling to get our peers to accept it. But we wanted our communities to benefit from it. So we decided to add black seed to it also to enhance the effect and the power. And I'm sure Bilal can run you through the benefits of that if you haven't already heard as much. And also, we wanted to really make something for our communities. So it wasn't easy. The guys at Sibdol are very, very professional. They're a huge firm, a huge company. They've been around for 15, 16 years.
I have to buzz into it. I have a question because people need to know. It is our Dr. Javed Bhai. Hello, Dr. Bhai. How are you?
Very good to see you, Dr. Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the guy, the doctor guy, right? He helped me a lot.
GP.
Right?
Very famous GP.
Very, very famous GP. We are all famous, by the way. We know that, right? All right. Can you answer the question then, Abid?
Look, while we're on that subject, let me just point out, most medical professionals...
I'm not using this, although I do see a lot of chronic pain patients. So either one of you can answer it nicely.
Oh, and I know this is a great point. I'm glad Dwight jumped in there, because also this is the one of the main products that most medical professionals who are in the know about CBD, I'm talking about rheumatologists and also sorts of hospital experts, if they're going to recommend anything, not that whether they do or they don't, but they generally would recommend Sibdol. So again, it's just to help reaffirm, the reason and why we went with Sibdol. We're not, we didn't design anything ourselves. We haven't done it we're not doing anything on our back garden or in our garages. This is a huge company with multi-million pounds assets globally around the world. They've been around a long time. There's so much time, energy, and money spent on research and development, and these guys have helped us. I can't thank them enough. The way these guys have helped us to take our little idea to market and produce this sort of this sort of product.
It's a unique product.
While we're there, let me just open one up for you so you can see actually what's inside that.
It's a gold dust. It's a golden syrup, right? And okay,
they made it so nicely for us as well.
It's actually made from one of the finest oils.
Okay, now can I ask Bilal on the question of why did you choose black seed? What is the reason? I know there is something about black seed and with Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why did you choose black seed?
Okay. Why we chose black seed? Well, CBD requires a carrier for it to be taken. So obviously the traditional use olive oil and CBD oil. They used a lot of other oils as well. And obviously, myself and Abid thought to ourselves, a lot of Muslims in the community, they use black seed oil, obviously, from the recommendation of the Prophet ﷺ, that he mentioned that black seed oil is the cure for every disease except for death, something like that. obviously a lot of people use it. So we thought that basically combining black seed on one hand has its own benefits, which are undeniable, and then CBD has its own benefits, which have been seen, but there's still a lot of debate about it. So what we thought was that if we can combine the two and see whether patients can optimize their health and see the benefits and take the black seed CBD and how it would affect the body. And that was it, really, to be honest. And we decided, we teamed up with Citadel, came up with the idea, and they neatly packaged it all up for us and sourced one of the finest CBDs, black seed oils from Egypt. We then got a halal certification and launched the product about a year ago. Is it, Abby?
Just over that. Yeah.
Over here, and what we found was that a lot of patients that did take it, they replaced the black seed oil that they were taking with this product, and they came back with some really good feedback of how it was affecting their health. And
so my colleague just showed you the certification of halal, right? So another question from Dr. Jawad Bhai is, what is the monthly cost for anyone with chronic pain? That goes to the marketing director, Abid.
Yeah, and this is one of the main questions and one of the main issues where people don't quite get it right with CBD and trying to get the benefits from it. It's about the dosaging. It's about the percentage, right? So it depends on
so I have,
what type of effect you're trying to get.
10%, and I have 5%, if you can see. Right?
Yeah.
10%. And
that's right.
What is the difference?
And just for your interest, we began this journey with this whole stuff at 3%. Okay, so it depends on height, weight, age, sex, all sorts of stuff. Because of course, don't forget the whole range now goes up to 40%. You can get 40% CBD. So,
wow.
You can get some very, very strong, powerful stuff, and it depends on the pricing. Fortunately, the prices come down a lot the last year or two, generally across the board for CBD, because it was extremely, extremely expensive.
Yes, I remember. £75 for 10%.
Yes, a little while ago, and so I would say average. I don't know if Bilal wants to jump in here. I'm just trying to get some kind of idea of how to dosage. If you want some significant benefit, you need to look at the higher dosages. If you've got significant stuff going on, if you're just looking for some general day-to-day CBD, just for general stuff, and I have to be careful what I say use what for here. Then I would say 2, 3, 4% even is fine day to day generally. If you want to have some physical effect of some type, then you need to have a minimum 5%, and preferably 10% will do most stuff. Anything after that, serious stuff, you need higher percentages. You're talking 15, 20 plus whatever. So, for example, let me answer Jawad's question first of all.
Yes,
so, if you're getting the average 5% one, so average to just starting to have some effect, that's costing you now. What is it, Bilal? About 32 pounds, is it? For a bottle-ish.
I think it's about 30 pounds.
Yeah, and a bottle should do you almost a month, really, more or less.
Yeah. It depends how you're using it, really. It just depends.
It depends how you're using it and what you're using it for. There's a lot of differences, and we can advise individually on that too. But for starters, you're looking at about £30 a month, and if you're having something stronger, it's about £50 a month. Then it goes up to £70 a month, and the most expensive blow, what's 40% cost these days? That is about £250 a month. Then I think.
Yeah,
there's not many people that need to go that high at all.
So question to Bilal. Would I get addicted to it?
No, CBD doesn't. There's many studies about this, independent studies by many researchers from prestigious universities, and they've all concluded that there is no addiction with CBD. You cannot get addicted. There's no withdrawal symptoms, and there is even now we're saying 30% and 40%. It's even that is a small quantity, because the studies that they're doing at the moment are in thousands of milligrams, and they're doing some serious studies on it at the moment.
Okay, so this to Abid, this is classified as supplement.
Yeah, technically in the UK we have to call it a food supplement. It's not medicinal. Thanks, Joel. It's not. We can't call it medicinal. To take it, and people are always a bit unsure. You can take it in food or whatever. If you want to take direct, like you take in medicine or tablet or something, you take it in the mouth, under the tongue. That's the most heavily vascularized area. You hold it there for 3 to 5 seconds. It comes in a little pipette bottle like this. So you need 1 to 3 drops, 2, 3. I'll even put a drop under my tongue now. It tastes nutty. It tastes like black seed. It doesn't have any kind of awful anything to do with cannabis kind of taste or smell or anything like that. It's quite neutral smell to it. Maybe a little bit oily kind of smell, and the taste is just sits there under your tongue. After about 3 to 5 seconds, a minute to 2, sorry, you can swallow the rest.
Yeah.
And that'll give you more instant effect.
Almost, we got 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
But there again, we are coming. Inshallah, we are coming next week. This is just introductory. Before we go to finishing the subject off, I want to find out: can I become a distributor for this, not only for halal, but all range of your unique CBD product? Obviously, halal is you spend so much energy, money, time in there, by all means. But how can your product be sold by internet, or it had to go through an agent or direct to you? How?
We do not sell to the public. We're not here to sell direct to you individually. We're here to supply healthcare, pharmacies, and distributors and retailers. That's our function, really. So yes, we would like people to become distributors for us, retailers, and help us to take this to our communities and get it into the marketplace. So across the same with the rest of the board. We are the UK.
Can somebody from Italy become your distributor?
Depending on what they want, it may be that they're already a friend and distributor for Sibdol. We are the UK distributor for Sibdol. We do not have our own company. We are not our own entity. We have worked very, very, very hard for a few years to develop this relationship with Sibdol.
In the United Kingdom, when I mean by United Kingdom, I mean Scotland, Ireland, Wales. So you
have to come direct to us. We do have some international facilities as well, and we would love to be able to start to make things happen across the Middle East, because it's still a banned substance in a lot of countries, in our Muslim countries. We want to see if we can make any inroads there. There are some countries you have to just look locally as to what the law is about CBD. It's so different across the country, across the world still, for some reason.
Last question to Bilal. Yeah. What is your criteria to become an agent or distributor? I know they can find it on the website, because I am one of your distributors. So what is your criteria? How do you choose your distributor? Do they have a vetting facility? Otherwise, any Tom, they can hurry.
We're very careful to vet. Sorry, Bilal, you carry on.
Yeah, no, I think I've been to talk about this one.
Okay, so we vet everyone specifically because we're here representing Sibdol for them, so we have to be very, very careful.
One of our colleagues, Nikki North, she wanted to know, she's interested in our brand. How can she become?
Oh, you're very welcome. If you just perhaps if you could just simply send an email to info@cbdchem.co.uk.
There you go.
On there, and we'll send you. Our guys will send you out information packs and stuff about all the whole product range. We also have a huge, just so you know, we'll do another program on it. Beauty range there too.
Well done to both of you for this awesome initiative. We have to wrap up. You got a minute.
Thank you, Abid. Thank you, Abid.
So I'll leave the last to Abid. Can Mr. Malik finish it off for me? You got 1 minute.
Just to get in touch with us, please. Really. Sorry, what did you say? Me? I'll do a bit and then let Bilal. Sorry, I interrupted again. Yeah, please get in touch if you're interested. All the details are on the website. You can see there below.
Nikki North, it's CBD.
We're just trying to reach out, make friends, other people in the CBD industry, and other interested Musliman help who want to get it out to our communities.
Yeah, it's about you getting the added package of the advice, and we're legally covered, and yourself will be legally covered, and we will advise you how to sell the product. And what to say and what not to say, so that basically you sell it safely to the public as well.
Thank you. Because last word, Abid, because next week we are coming, hopefully on Sunday, but we'll let you know about podiatrist. How can podiatrist, healthcare professional, physio can use other brand? We got a huge list of brand, and also again more on halal CBD product, how you can become agent, including more in depth of the halal product and non halal product. They're all halal, but a benefit of technically CBD oil. Last word from you, Abid.
Yeah, the black seed halal CBD oil is the high-powered version we've done, and there is a lot of others in the range, and they're very useful too. We're fully convinced. We've been in it so long, we've seen so many benefits over the years. It doesn't work for everybody everywhere, but it's perhaps also you've got to be so careful to get the right type of product and the right type of dosage in, and that's where it can get a bit confusing for people. But I'm sure if you can get that right, everybody can see the benefits one way or the other. So
thank you, Abid. As I said, we
we'll
will
look
run
forward to more promos. We're going to carry on talking about CBD now, aren't we, Summers?
Any questions any of our colleague or healthcare professional or public want to ask whenever we are in the show or on the show, please ask the question. We'll try to answer it as much as you can. Anyway, both of you, my colleague, thank you very much. And all of us are from healthcare professional background. So we have done some research. We are continuing doing research. Hey, nothing ends. We always improve and improve. And thank you for watching this program, and hopefully have a safe life with coronavirus and all this stuff. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and take care, everybody. Again, disclaimer, if we have said anything wrong, please forgive us. And thank you. Have a lovely night and goodbye.
Thank you. Good night.